LeetCoders. I am Aman and today here we are going to solve the easiest problem of LeetCode, and today we are going to solve problem number 88, merge sort array. The problem itself, it's mean like we have to merge the sorted array, and for that we have to know about what's the meaning of merge. Merge means simply the adding of two numbers or adding of two elements that are unknown to each other, and based on their certain rule we are going to add that. So based on this topic we are going to solve this problem. Let's read the problem first, what the problem said. Yeah, so here is the problem. You are given two integer number 1 and number 2 sorted in non-descending order, and two integer m and n representing the number of element in number 1 and number 2 respectively. What's its mean? Like we are having two array of numbers, number 1 and number 2, that are in non-descending order. It's mean both the array are in sorted order and in ascending order. And what's the here m and n? The length of the two integers whatever we have, array of number 1 and number 2, their lengths are m and n. And the next thing, merge number 1 and number 2 into a single array in the sorted order of non-descending order. So simply the next step we have to do is add the number 1 and number 2 into a single array that is in non-descending order, means in the ascending order itself. And then finally, the sorted array should not be returned the function, but instead of the sorted inside the array of number 1, to accommodate this number 1 has length of m plus n, where the first m element donate the element that should be merged, and the last n element are set to 0 and should be ignored. Number 2 has a length of n. So yeah, we are just going to do here the approaches like we are adding both the array in number 1 and only, and that length of number 1 will be m plus n, means size of m plus n arrays, that element of 1 1 means in whatever the element are present in m array and n array, that both should be added at one array of number 1, and we have to return at the end array of number 1 itself, because we are not going to take any extra spaces for that or the function for that. Just we have to simply add the both array of numbers in the single one, and we have to print that sorted order of merge sorted array. Okay, so let's see with my handwritten note what I have prepared for you. In that you can easily understand what's the optimal solution that we are going to take for solving this problem. So basically here I am going to use two pointers from the int, like we are applying the pointer approach for solving this. So yeah, since the both array are sorted, the larger element will be at the end, means if the array are in sorted order or in ascending order, the largest element will be in the end of the array of element, and based on the largest element we are going to compare all this. So instead of shifting everything from the front, we are just started from the end or from the back of the number of 1, means array of number 1. From back we are going to compare with the largest element to the array of number 2. We will compare the last element of the valid part of number 1 and number 2, and place the larger one at the end of number 1. Just we are going to compare both number 1 and number 2, and whatever the largest element, that should be keep it in last of the number 1 array, and at the end we are going to return the number 1. Okay, for that we are going to take these steps, like initializing three pointer. First of all, I, j and k. Okay, so I will be pointer, I will denotes the length of m minus n. 1 will be the I, means whatever the length of number 1 minus 1 should be the last element of the valid part of number 1, that should be the greatest element of the number 1. We are going to compare with that one by one of an element of number array of number 2. So in pointer 2, j will denotes n minus 1, last element of array number 2, and the last one pointer k will be return m plus n minus 1, last position of number 1, which one is the largest element of the array, sorted array. Okay, while both the array having element, compare number 1 of I and number 2 of j. Place the largest one at number 1 of k. We are just placing that one by one by the comparing between number 1 array of number 1 and number 2. We are just returning the whole array in number 1 with the k elements. K, what is the k size? M plus n, based on the question. Move the corresponding position and k backward. Okay, just we are moving one by one to the next of the array, and we are going to take from the backward. So we are doing only I minus minus, j minus minus, and k minus minus, like that. Okay, so the next thing we have to think about, if any elements are remaining in number 2, copy them to number 1. Means if suppose we have any array of element remains in array of number 2, just we have to simply copy them to the array of number 1. If number 1 array of number 1 still has remaining, then already placed in there. Okay, and the last thing, done. We have to just check it, this following step, whether it is follow or not. Okay, so let's see the example based on the question what we have. So in example 1, we are seeing input array of number 1 having 1, 2 and 3, and rest of that we are just added with 0, with the length of number 2. So what is the length of number 1 is 3, and number 2 is length is 3. Okay, so what's the output will be, like that. We have to compare array of number 1 and number 2 with their array length from the back side. Like suppose array of number 1 last element is 3, and array of number 2 having last element 6. So comparing first of all 3 and 6, which one will be greatest? That should be at the end of array of element 1. Okay, so in 3 and 6, was the size of array, is here like 5, uh, sorry 6, but we are going to start or initialize the array from 0 index to n. So what's the length? 0, 6. So 6 equals to like m, I equals to m minus 1. So length of array of m is 3. So we have 1. Is I am writing any implementation pseudocode? No. So yeah, here we are see with this. Okay, so yeah, what we have, this array, and number 2 is equals to this. Okay, so initially this is number one array. Okay, equals to, these are the element we have basically in first order. So we are going to compare one by one by the element of array 1 and 2. Suppose we are starting from the last of the index of number 1 with the last of the index of number 2. So based on this, 3 and 6, 6 is greater, so just we are keeping in last of the array with 6 here. After that we are going to compare 3 and 5, j minus minus, like for number 2 we are taking pointer as j, so we will subtracting from the backside, or keep backside from the j as well as I, if we are keeping that part. Otherwise we have to decrement from the j or decrement from the I, and as well as we have to go decrement by the k also, because we are going to sort one by one that array. So next is 3 and 5. 5 is greater, so just remove 0 and place it 5 here. Next step we have, like here 5. Next step we are going to compare 3 and 2. So 3 is greater, so just keep it as 3 here. And again we are going to compare 2 and 2. So 2 and 2 both are equal, so just keep it as, remove 3 and keep replace with 2. And again if we are comparing here 1 and 2, so 2 is greater, so 2 is here only. Again no element further in array of number 2, so just the first element of array of element 1 is kept as 1 only. And this is the sorted array that we are going to get in our output. So these are the approach just that we are going to solve here. Okay, so yeah, let's see the code part, how we are implement this code basically and how it's executing. Okay, so yeah, here is the code for this. So first of all, what I have already tell in the approach, like how we are going to solve this. Okay, sorry for the interruptions, I'm getting some cough in few back days, so I'm not feeling well, but still I'm making my video for updating myself on the YouTube, for giving the my time in LeetCode so many hours. So just I making the videos for you, so you can understand how we are going to solve this one by one. Okay, so yeah, this is the code, how we are doing this code and how this code is working. Now I'm going to tell you that part. So first of all, we are initializing the three pointers, pointer 1, pointer 2 and pointer 3. These 3 pointers are working like initializing as I equals to m minus 1, that shows the pointer for number 1, j equals to n minus 1, that shows the pointer of number 2, and k equals to m plus n minus 1, that's pointer for the placement in number 1, like what are the length of number 1, array of number 1, that should be m plus n minus 1. Length of m is, array of 1 is m minus 1. Length of array of element 2 is n minus 1. Like that we are initializing these 3 pointers. Next we are going to check the conditions, whether for the element is, array of element 1 is greater or array of element 2 is greater. Based on that their values, we are going to just place their arrays of element in the sorted array, and we are going to merge that both the arrays. So while checking I is greater than equals to 0 and j is greater than equals to 0, so these two conditions are true, then only we comes under this if loop and else loop. If number 1 of I is greater than number 2 of j, then just we are simply assigning in number 1 of k element equals to array of number I, like what are the last element of array, like here 6, but this condition is false. In else condition we are just keep it this k element equals to last of k element equals to number of element 2 of j, that is 6, we are just kept it as first. Like that we are going to enter one by one, and if any number is left in number 2, just we are going to keep in the array of number 2 equals to array of number 1 at the end of the element. So it if the array is kept it at the end of the element, it's mean that it is the largest one of the element of number 1, or the sorted array that we are going to get in our output. Okay, so let's see its execution whether it's working fine or not. So yeah, if the both the test cases are passed here, and let's see one more example was that actually. So number 1 equals to 1, the length of number 1 is m equals to 1 and number 2 equals to 0, then mean there is null. So just keep that number 1 element in the merged, and zeros we are not counting here, so just the output is 1 only. And in the third output number 1 equals to 0 and number 2 equals to 1, means the length of number 2 is 1 and length of number 1 is 0. So based on the second while loop, just we are going to assign in that number array of number 1 equals to array of number 2, that's why here it's giving output as 1. Okay, so I think you understood this problem and the implementation part also, how we can get this. You can see my submission here, it was accepted with the 100% accuracy. Okay, so thank you for watching my video. Keep going, keep learning, and keep enhance yourself to be a better best coder or the better in your lifestyle. So thank you once again for watching my video. If you have any doubt or any such kind of issues to understand the question or the problem part, you can just ask me. I'll help you in that. Just comment down. So thank you for watching my video. Keep learning.